without charging me, man. Love you, Junior.
1 2 1
Appreciate you, 8-3.
All right, here we go. Straight politicking on you fools. I'm sitting here with Munchie B, the mayor. And guess who we got back? Guess who we got
most
back?
tasty.
We got Spider back. We got Spider back. But we had a great co-host, though.
I salute to the co-host, man.
We had P-Loc, Porky.
P-Loc, Porky.
8-7 Kitchen.
8-7 Kitchen.
Guess
And you know what? I wanted to suggest to the homies that we need to like take that content, rename it, and just number this episode, the next number after the one I was present for. But I'm going to go ahead and let that be just an episode that I was absent for. Shout out to Porky. Siete.
For sure, man. We had a great conversation. Let me just start off by saying, while Porky was here as the guest host, his homies, 9 of them, well, not all 9 of them because some of them end up snitching, but in 2022, 9 kitchens got caught up in a murder.
7 or 9?
Let me see. I got the LA Times.
7.
I got the article right here from the LA
I think it was
Times.
7 and 2 of them went back.
Go ahead. Can you see that from over there, Spider? The LA Times?
Boy, you just had me a whole paper to have in my face I couldn't see.
Prosecutors accuse 9 alleged Crips members of carrying out retaliatory killings in South LA. This is from 2022.
Side.
So check it out. The guys went on trial and got a mistrial, right? So they were on a retrial. While Porky was here, they were in deliberations on the second trial. And I don't, depending on your perspective, bad news or good news, they were found all guilty the second time around.
Ooh, what type of alleged victims were involved?
I didn't really get into the details.
I don't want to hear about any
Yeah.
time at this point without knowing anything deeper when I see the system wins against.
But I don't think all 9 of them were on trial, right, Munch? Because 2 turned snitch.
Because I only hear about 7, but right there say 9. So
I think 5 were on trial.
then 5 got a hung jury and they was running it back.
Yeah.
You just told me it's all bad right here.
Yeah, well, I'd say when it's all bad, it's all bad. But hey, I don't know enough to care. But Alex, I don't know why you trying to dress like me today. When did you decide black tee, white jeans, Alex? I need to know that.
Hey, hopefully they get their appeals in before they even go back upstate and get the ball going. You know what I'm saying?
Except for the rats that told.
No, we ain't talking about no rats when we ever talking about freeing anybody.
Oh, mama.
Hey, but the great thing here is that all 9 of these defendants maintain all their appeals rights because they were found guilty in trial. So they got action. It's going to take time. Of course, they're going to get sentenced and sent to prison. But you never know what's going to happen. But I thought what was interesting in this LA Times article, every once in a while they do it. They actually say the Kitchen Crips in the article. Usually they don't.
Is that a new trend? Because you're familiar with
Every once in a while they do it.
media report through the years, but that's a new trend.
It ain't really new because I remember when back in the 80s when the 5 Deuce Hoovers got killed in this mass shooting, they actually said 5 Deuce Hoovers in the article. But you don't see it
that
often. But every once in a while the LA Times will throw it in.
You believe there's a agenda behind why they would be that clear with it versus you think they're trying to do something or make a point or?
Most of the time, they rather not say the name of the hood.
Why would they be so comfortable in any particular time, do you think? Do you think it's an overall agenda that they're trying to bring about some type of negative adverse effect upon our community or no?
Well, the only way to know is the 2 authors, Kevin Richter and Matthew Ormseth. Usually the police don't give the gang names all the time because they don't want to bring no clout and no popularity to the set. So they'll just say a LA gang or a Crips gang or a Blood gang. But in this article, it said Kitchen Crip straight up. So I don't know. You'd have to tap in with the authors.
Kitchen Crips, love sex,
I think it was the amount of co-defendants on the case. And like you asked, Porky, you was like, damn, why take up to the 6 shooting or killing for them to catch up to him? You know what I'm saying? So it was a series that was on the road. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that was kind of big and significant. So that's why they put the gang name in here.
This is one of the biggest LA gang arrests in some time because to have multiple shootings that happened over multiple months, it's pretty crazy. But the feds.
I was finna ask, was it local or federal?
This is local, but the feds sometimes, oftentimes, when they with the Ricos, they put the gang name in there.
Yeah, of course. Because that's part of the allegations a lot of times.
Well, in Lil Doc Done's Rico, they just put the United States of America versus Paul Wallace.
Oh, you talking in the actual?
Yeah, it'll say that.
Charging document.
It'll say the Florencia Trece, and then they'll list them or whatever gang is being charged.
They did one with the Legend Crips. You know what I'm saying?
But you might want to insert that as a visual when this comes up as audio in this podcast and you edit. Go ahead.
They did that with the Legend Crips when they gathered a couple of them, and then when they came and got my homies, that Red Harvest. You know what I'm saying? The Red Harvest little Diamond Inglewood families, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know what grade you was in, but I could recall when I was young and they first started doing gangbang documentaries on TV, the Legends got one of the very first looks.
Yeah, what's his name? Old man or
Nigga
something?
with the glasses. It was a nigga with glasses, a light-skinned nigga that was like the main vocal person, but I think it was in the 80s.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they got the first look. Like, damn, they was on there with that first dramatic, real story. And that was my introduction to the Legends on TV. But since then, they name didn't quite keep up with that first introduction. But yeah, they was one of the first ones. They got some shine on television back in the 80s, the Legend Crips.
I remember they used to be called the Osage Legend Crips. Is that still a thing, Munch? They used to write on the wall OLC.
What does Osage mean?
That's a street over there.
Osage is a street, right? But like 2003, 2004, they neighborhood Legend Crip.
They dropped the Osage?
No, they ain't dropped it. That's always gonna be Osage though. But they, especially the younger ones, they probably just rocking with
Legend.
That's like the original pocket hoods. You don't really hear the word original more. You know what I'm saying? The original front hoods, they don't really push the original, but they still the original front hoods, original pocket hood, but they just front hood conscious, pocket hood,
right.
corner pockets.
Both of them is original swamp, original front hood, original
Swamp.
Yeah.
You'll still see the Swamps hitting them
They bang the O harder than the rest of them.
And on the west side, the Harlems bang that O. They OHC.
Still?
You'll see OHC drive down Western.
That's probably because of the O's turned into something newer, but that O kind of disappeared on the Harlems for a while too in the beginning.
Original Harlem Crip.
Yeah, the original kind of. I'm out of date. You more of a student than me, so I might.
I like taking pictures of graffiti too.
I like seeing graffiti. I haven't actual documented it, but I like looking at certain graffiti.
Yeah. What you gonna say, Munch?
Nah, you still original Harlem Crip depending on who. They been Relevant 30 Crip, Harlem Crip. They got so much different kind of little.
Man, there's so many ways to say that set.
Right.
West Side Harlem.
Or on
Dirt gang.
Yeah, what up on Dirt? You know what I'm saying?
That used to be an official diss.
Yeah.
They some cold, grimy niggas that flip that.
Yeah, they twisted it. They dissing my saying dirties, and now they the dirty dirt gang. You know what I'm saying?
They turned that around.
But I did that personally with the word Eastie, because for everybody on the east side, the word Eastie used to be a disrespectful term, and I personally took that upon myself to be proud of being Eastie. And now we have a whole generation of people who feel proud of being Eastie, East Side.
Well, I can tell you who else switched the dish thing and embraced it, and now they in the dish no more. Santana with the banana thing.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so no, the nigga, they be talking to me like, they get this Tana banana, they get to talking to bras or talking about going bananas, and you know what I'm saying? And then they colors is like some Pittsburgh Steelers shit, yellow.
Why you say that? Because I heard the homie Beezy beat them charges that he's incarcerated from, and he may be on his way home. Free Beezy, Tana Beezy.
Yeah, someone hit me up about Beezy's case. An anonymous person gave me a little insight about, I don't remember what it was. I've been meaning to follow up, but you got an update on Beezy?
Yeah, what actually took place from my perspective is there was an incident where he actually got into an incident with some of his family members, and it got way ridiculous. And as a result of that, he was charged with 2 counts of attempted murder. Maybe, yeah, that's what it was. And subsequently, I recently got information that both charges was dropped, and he should be home soon. So if that's the actuals, I salute that. I'm glad to hear that.
Okay, and another update, we had Boosie Badazz's lawyer, Megan Blanco, on here while he was celebrating the dismissal of that gun case. Just about a week and a half later, they refiled the whole new case on him.
That's crazy.
So he had to get his lawyer back on it, and they working on the case right now. So he's not in the clear yet.
Do you have an update on that? Because what really shocked me about that is when we interviewed her, or she called into our show to give an update on the last when they dropped the charges. After that, you let me know through us politicking. She recently picked up another case that's relative to us. The homie Charles Jordan. She was helping the homie out, and we was speaking on that. And we thought like, hey, ooh. And now to kind of find out they double back on the homie. On Boosie. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think
they got it out for him? They just got, these prosecutors are aggressive. You know, and these prosecutors, they go to their cocktail parties, and you know what they brag about while they're sitting there drinking wine and eating cheese? You know what they brag about?
Sending niggas up the river.
Yes. Like, they'll say, Bob, I got 400 years in prison last year. How many did you get, Bob?
That's deep.
You know, well, I got 500. I got you beat by 100 years. They brag about this at parties, you know? So when they lose a case, it hits them hard.
Do you think Boosie's done anything to help make himself be a target of that type of energy publicly?
I think he a bit boisterous, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then, and people just want to just shut him up. Like with us, the police, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I want to get Spider off the sheriff much of the day. Like, niggas be trophies, and he done slipped through so many, you know what I'm saying? They looking like, man, I'm going to be the one to take him down. He a trophy to the prosecution.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Any celebrity, you know, Robert Blake, O.J. Simpson.
but who done got away, slipped through more shit than Lil Boosie? That's a celebrity.
From our culture and our generation. You're right.
Right. Like, we ain't.
And then he steady waving it in their face saying like, fuck y'all. So he got to be careful. I don't wish jail on nobody. I don't really approve the way that Boosie stepped out and stood on business in regards to T.I. taking a stand, and he bit his tongue and swallowed that. We ain't got to get into all that, so it's kind of hard for me to be like on the Boosie bandwagon, but I still don't want to see Cud go down. But once you stood out there with your courage and said if T.I. told, he all bad, you know he told on Hosea Thomas, bro. He got on the stand for 45 minutes on behalf of prosecution in a murder trial. And it had a lot to do with why the reason Hosea Thomas was found guilty. So you tried to stand on principles, bro, and I was kind of proud of you. But then you bit your tongue and swallowed that, so that's your bad. So it's kind of hard for me to get on your campaign, Boosie.
And the thing is, T.I. said the same thing that somebody else that we know said. And he said his mom wanted me to
Hoochie ready, yeah. Hoochie ready, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean.
I get it. And we know from day one, when we chose the street life, we decided to turn a blind ear to what our mothers was telling us. That's the first decision you make to go against the grain. Before you do with the police, you got to say, shh, fuck, we ain't gonna, mom and them, we ruling that out. That's the first decision you make as a juvenile delinquent is fuck with my mom and them talking about.
Hey, but shit, y'all hear it now. I told y'all once before, anything happened to me in the streets, don't talk to my mama, bro. I'm telling you, my mama ain't with the
And I hugged
shit.
his mama today. Bless his mama. She gonna do her best to help him, but she not with the bullshit. She did not get courted on. She's not with it.
I don't know. Pops, that's something different. Let them know what happened.
Shout out big time.
Yeah, but no.
We're going to try to get Megan Blanco back on next week to get an update on what's really going on in the courthouse regarding Boosie, because here's one of the issues. You know, the case that Megan used to get him dismissed, I believe, what was the name of it? Duarte. Okay, so the Duarte case is now being reconsidered. It might get overturned. So now that Duarte is not on the table, they could recharge.
What do you think about what they actually utilize, like this addict shit? A felon in addict in possession. Do they have grounds to prove that he's an addict to any degree, or is that just a shot in the dark?
They just going for it.
Because it was marijuana in the car when they found the weapon, so they trying to put that together or something.
Hey, I've learned that prosecutors very rarely want to say, my bad, my wrong, I made a mistake, have a good day. I'll tell you something crazy. This was in the MySpace days. I had a case, and this juvenile got charged with a murder. And we found out that he was in a group of about 9 people, but only one person did the murder. They believed the guy, my juvenile, was the one that did it. We get a description of what the shooter was wearing. I go on MySpace and go through all the pages for this hood, and I find another guy with the exact same description. It was a very specific jumpsuit. I give it to the attorney. The attorney gives it to the prosecutor. The prosecutor looks at it and says, I don't care. I still gotta go. I gotta go all the way with this guy. And I was like, wow, we just presented you the information that this is not the shooter. But it seems as if they're already so far committed with the prosecution, they gotta go all the way.
I've seen it. We talking about the detectives?
Well, it's the prosecutor has the choice to say, you know what, I'm gonna dismiss the case. But the prosecutor also has a boss.
I've been in a situation very similar because it was in the 90s, and I was with 2 of my accomplices or 2 of my companions. We went to a swap meet, and we got into an altercation with 2 other individuals, and one of my homies died at the swap meet. The detectives, because of videotapes, pulled up on me and my other surviving homie that didn't die at the swap meet, and they presented us with, hey, we know what happened. Look, we got you on video. We knew you was here. And they showed us 6-packs and saying, hey, we know who did it. We need you to identify who did it. And they made it very obvious and aware to us who they wanted us to identify in these 6-pack photo lineups. And me and my crime meet, my homie was like, we don't know nobody. We told him, yeah, if we could, we would love to help you. We would be willing to look at the 6-pack, but we were so laced up, we did all that with knowing no matter what we saw, we was finna not identify nobody. So it got to a point, we was very young, bro, and they was really trying to twist us. It got to a point where the detectives was pressuring us so hard, it was like, look, you tell me you can't identify nobody in these pictures, this is your last chance. Once you sign this paper saying you can't identify nobody, if you call us tomorrow and saying you know who it is, it's too late. So we signed the paper saying, okay, I understand, I can't identify nobody. Swear to God, the very next thing that the prosecution did was they charged my homie that was with me with the murder of our homie that died that day. They knew who did it. They wanted us to testify against the niggas that did it. Once they realized we was not willing to, they put the murder on my homie. And what really impressed me I was like 21 years old, maybe 20. I sat on the stand defending my homie, staring at the detective eyes that tried to convince me to tell on the actual killers. He knew who it was.
They don't care.
He didn't give a fuck.
No,
he took my homie
They wanted
12
some
in the
conviction, bro.
What? They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, especially what year was this? Like 90, late 90s, early 2000s.
This was 1997.
Yeah, so between the 80s and the 90s, this was rampant. In the 2000s, you want to say it slows down somewhat, but they're still aggressive. And in many instances, they don't care. They just want the conviction. I remember my dad told me once, he said, if they come out with a law where when you find the wrong person guilty, the prosecutor automatically gets charged with a crime, it'll stop happening.
I agree with your pops.
But they have immunity. You know, the cops and the prosecutors are never found criminally responsible.
Right. And that's why we have this imbalance.
Yeah.
Right. It makes sense.
So, rest in peace to my pops. But my pops used to see the news and be like, man, this is crazy. They should charge the freaking prosecutor for railroading this guy 20 years ago.
That's like a female false charges somebody with the great
R word.
Yeah. And then years later, he gets exonerated through DNA. Why are they not immediately brought up on charges, bro?
Man, P. Nice is supposed to link me with Brian Banks, bro. The Brian Banks.
The Long Beach nigga, football.
Yeah, man. P. Nice, you see this, bro? Come on, man. You're supposed to link that.
I mean, we can get in touch with Brian Banks. We'll find him. Crip Mac, for whatever reason, the media is not reporting what his deal is, how much time he got. Have you guys?
No, yeah, the sentencing was
You guys got an update on that?
extended to like August 20 something. The sentencing, I
Okay.
think August 29th.
I saw a couple people reporting that he's already took a deal. So
Yeah, I think that was the white boy.
You know, Crip Mac's impact was so we would know, and then I would know before. If we would know and it was a secret, I think I still would know. So
and that's probably why I can't find anything on it.
of course.
Except for inaccurate, misleading YouTube videos.
No, what actually happened was he did have a date of the 22nd for sentencing, and I think they got an extension until August 29th.
Okay. Well, we'll follow up on that when
Free Mac, and we hope for the least possible sentence, man. On my mama.
All right, so how many of you guys are Tory Lanez fans?
I'm not a fan, but I'm a supporter in this legal case.
I mess with his music, and he could rap and sing. He really could, he barred up. He could rap.
And I'm not a fan because I'm an anti-fan. I'm just not familiar with his actual content. But I am familiar with what happened with him on this incident with Meg Thee Stallion and all that. And I am a supporter throughout his legal debacle. And I think I made Alex, amongst a lot of people or just a few people, feel my impression that there should be another consideration just based on the female friends pleading the fifth and all those ramifications. I hung my hat on that issue, and I feel kind of vindicated that those issues are coming back to the forefront.
And the inconsistencies of the dude that was on the balcony that was watching all the stuff unfold. They went on a break, then he came back with a whole new story, whole new attitude, and everything he was saying was opposing Tory at that point. I was surprised it didn't get overturned already since he been in the pen. Just like, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not surprised.
Because it's too many inconsistencies. It's like,
See, Alex, he's not surprised because he has more time clock and courtroom experience than both of us, and he was there personally. So he's using his experience with seeing things played out, his knowledge of the law. That has nothing to do with the average general person got to witness. From what we got to see,
Well, let me tell you, every trial has inconsistencies. There's not a single perfect trial. So to say that there's inconsistencies, when I hear that,
Eric Holder's trial,
it's irrelevant. There were some inconsistencies in Eric Holder's trial to where you was on the fence between first degree and second degree. Definitely. You could argue second degree and convince some people, and then argue first degree and convince some people.
I'm gonna leave you alone. Build your original point. Go ahead.
But let me just say, I'm a big fan of Tory. Tory has got some major hits. I got a couple. I wish we can play them, but we'll get struck. But that song "Say It," a banger.
It's one of them ones.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar.
Another one called "Love," a banger. And he just dropped some new music that I just recently listened to. And I gotta say, I'm impressed with what he's recording from prison.
Is he saying things to let you know for sure he's in prison? Because I'm sure he has a catalog and hard drive.
The song starts off saying, you know, the recording when you get a jail call.
Okay.
You know, the CDC. You're receiving a phone call from.
I mean, the actual recorded rapping.
yeah, you could put that in the beginning of the song.
You can put that in the beginning, but as far as when you hear his vocals, you told me you were impressed by the quality.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, did he say anything to reference that I'm already in jail?
Yeah, something that's in
Oh yeah,
real
yeah.
time.
Well, I'm trusting that these were are prison recordings, unless he's duping us all by having these already done before he went to prison.
Just think about it. The typical artist that has a deal spends the majority of his time recording. So when you put out 10 songs for an album, that typically means you have 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 in your hard drive.
You know what?
He got a hard drive full.
If this is the case, then he's misleading us because he did a recording on a phone call with somebody saying, "Hey, I'm gonna be me and my boy. We just figured out how to record music from this jail phone. I'm gonna be dropping new music real soon. Look out for it." So he wants us to believe,
Of course.
that all this music is done.
And if the quality is matching people who are not in prison, I'm suspicious that he may be releasing earlierly recorded music.
Well, you know what? We'll follow up on this on the next episode of Straight Politicking
Free Tory Lanez in the
to
process.
see if I could determine whether the music is referencing him being in prison or not.
And that comes from Alex Alonso,
Yeah.
the king of the fact check. He holds himself accountable to fact checks.
If it's quality though, I wouldn't be surprised though, man, because everything is getting more, it's evolving and shit. And these engineers be having these plugins and all the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to my homie Creep from Do-Rock. He's been down since the 90s. We were actually incarcerated together in the 90s. I've been home for quite a long time. He's never been home. But he was once signed as an artist to Baymac Music. And he created music from being incarcerated.
What year?
In 2022, 2021.
Okay.
And it was not quite as clear as what I understand Alex is saying.
but
Tory shit sound like.
The resources Tory Lanez
There you go.
is different.
You
know what I'm saying?
correct. You can shit on my little resources, but you're right.
No, for real. Like he, you feel me?
No, facts over feelings. You're
For
right.
real, the little Canadian he plugged in.
Yeah.
And the name of this album he just dropped is called Prison Tapes. So,
He could have came with a better name.
Yeah, that was like low hanging fruit.
Yeah, he could have came with a better name.
all right, we'll talk. We could talk about his case in a minute, but I also want to say that since he's been in prison, he just recently got his high school diploma. So that should
Salute to that.
either, you guys should know, does that lower his points or does that take time off his sentence, or both?
Probably both.
No. That I mean, when you see your counselor, you let him know I got kids, I'm married, I got my GED or high school diploma, then they lower the points at that point.
But if you don't have the diploma, the next time you report it, it should affect your points to affect it.
But see, I ain't been in prison in a long time.
It's
But
been longer for me.
They had some shit called milestones, and you could do little shit to get milestones and get like 3 weeks off, 3 weeks off, like.
But no, his question was, do you think that affected his points or?
Nah, no. I don't think so.
What about a release date?
I think it affects both.
I think if they got that little milestone shit going on, you could get your GED and just go knock like a couple weeks off.
As high profile as Tory Lane's case is, and as a raw deal as I think he got, I think CDC, counselors, everybody is making him fully aware of everything he can do to minimize and mitigate his punishment. So I think every decision he makes while he's incarcerated, I think he is understood and educated that it's going to go against his earlier release.
I'm gonna tell you why I respect him, right? Because it's already bad enough you got a crime against a woman. So if he would have went to jail and then went PC after you allege some violence on a woman, it's gonna look bad. Like, okay, you could do this, but you in here with all these men and you PC'd up. But he's on the main line. You know what I'm saying? Especially after you whooped on August Alsteen, I'm like, damn, that little soft ass. I'm like,
He little too though, but have you ever,
but he's soft though.
based on being out here, do you know anybody that's on the yard with him? Have you talked to anybody?
No, I don't know.
You, Alex?
No.
I don't know nobody in
Me either.
Tehachapi. But
But he been at Tehachapi, y'all. It's one of the original prisons out here that's known for being cutthroat by the book too.
you can't say that no more, Spider, because
I said known for
yeah,
traditional.
no.
I didn't say currently, presently.
No, example though. Look, say like as long as you've been in prison, you can't even brag about the yard you was on, because it might be bad today. So Spider,
That's why I clarified my statement with traditionally, historically.
Let me ask you this:
I'm just telling how the viewers how that shit goes.
any of the
You
yards,
can clarify presently. I only could talk about the past and what the representation of Tehachapi used to mean. I never tried to say it means that now.
okay. My question is: any of the yards that you guys have previously been on back in the day, do you know what the status of those exact same yards are today?
No, that's why I just like I was in so and so prison. Don't even say the yard. Leave it alone, because all that.
A yard, B yard, C yard.
I'm not about to start no internet beef and somebody say, well, nigga, that's a PC yard.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta be careful. But that's why look, our Centinela, Kalinga, a little bit of Avenal. But when you put up Avenal at reception, the police told you when you hit the gate, you have reached Tell It All Avenal, where even the walls talk. So everybody know Avenal had a bad reputation from day one. But the thing is, especially back in them days, if that's where they were sending you, that's where they were sending you.
Don't Avenal also have a lot of the disabled, wheelchair, guys in wheelchairs and things of that sort?
Whether I knew that was the scenario back then, now that I look back at the industries that they had and how laid back they play out, they may.
Yeah, one of those yards, you'll see guys in wheelchairs,
Left and right.
a guy that don't got a leg, one leg, crutches, stuff like that.
That makes sense because I've seen that, didn't know that was particular to that prison though.
But yeah, I don't know what yard that Tory Lanez is on, because when you look them up online, it doesn't give you that. It just tells you the prison. So he's in Tehachapi. The official name of it is CCI, California Correctional Institution in Tehachapi.
Which used to be the official, what's that? What they call it? R&R.
Yeah, reception center.
Reception center for the original gangbang culture. Tehachapi was a reception center.
This
Before
was-
Delano and
Delano
Wasco
and
came
Wasco.
around.
And
Chino,
Wasco.
it was Chino, then Delano and Wasco.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys wanted to talk briefly about the case. Let's talk about the case briefly, because just recently, some report of Jaquan Smith just dropped, and apparently Jaquan Smith, he wanted to testify in December of 2022, made the decision not to, and then more recently, his Tory Lanez attorneys filed a 3-page report from Jaquan, basically saying a few things. Here, let me read some of these things
I've read that.
that
too.
he's claiming. He says, I was the driver. Okay, we all know he was the driver. Mr. Peterson asked me to take him to the home of Kylie Jenner, where Megan was at. Okay. Both Megan and Tory returned to the car after a few minutes of bickering. As I began to drive, Megan started a fight with Tory. They were going back and forth. I don't remember which street we were on, but Megan asked me to stop the vehicle. I did. Megan started an argument again. Miss Harris asked what was going on. Let's see. And then on the final page, I pulled over to stop them. Megan and Kelsey Harris both got out of the vehicle, continued to fight. I broke up the fight. I was pulling Megan towards the back of the car. And then here's the second to last paragraph. I saw Kelsey Harris with a gun in her hand. Tory ran from behind Megan and myself towards Kelsey. Then Tory and Megan began struggling. As Tory tried to unarm Miss Harris, I was still pulling Megan, and I did not see who shot the weapon.
Man, give me my vindication points, Alex. Before hearing any of that, I told you because she pled the fifth and she had gun residue on her hand as a juror, only needing reasonable doubt, that should have been enough.
Right.
Had no idea.
It's got to be beyond a reasonable doubt, not just reasonable doubt.
I stand in correction.
I believe it's beyond.
Thank you. I meant to include that.
Okay, so then remember, if you're saying that Tory is not the shooter, then you also have to identify beyond a reasonable doubt who the shooter is, because they took the third party culpability defense.
But there's no burden on the defense to prove anything.
Right. No, okay, you're right. But when the defense says that they're using what's called third party culpability, so they're trying to convince the jury, I didn't do it, but somebody else there did. So you also, even though the jury's not there to make someone else guilty or not guilty, you got to convince the jury, okay, you're innocent and this person is the one that did it.
The man on the balcony put the gun in Kelsey's hands, if I ain't mistaken.
He put the gun in Tory's hands too.
In addition to that, I've been debating Alex the whole time. With that being said, trying to convince the jury of what you just indicated, there's a female who was said to have held the pistol, who chose not to testify under the guise of the Fifth Amendment, which protects her against self-incrimination. Mm-hmm. So I feel like an intelligent jury who has been well-educated on the process of this scenario, that should be beyond reasonable doubt to think that, hey, she doesn't want to get up here and talk about it because she might be incriminated and she has gunpowder on her hand. There's a potential witness that said she may have handled the weapon. That's enough reason to be, that's beyond reasonable doubt in my assessment.
Yeah, but you just skipping over like
10
other points of evidence.
No. Be optimistic though. Yeah. He's on the phone. Yeah, he kind of
after. He
kind of made it.
No, if you go chronologically,
but we are just putting it on the scale though.
But we're talking about I didn't skip over anything. I talked about the evidence, the way it developed. Now that happened after. I didn't skip over anything.
He shouldn't have called from jail, bro.
He should not have. But guess what? He did not incriminate himself specific to any one action.
Yeah,
but he could have definitely been apologizing for the overall thing going bad.
That's if you believe that.
No.
Obviously, the jury did not believe that that's what he was talking about.
That's why I don't really have that much faith in the jury system.
No, and he was apologizing because you was hitting both of them and it came out in the car.
He's a real player. He's more player than you and I. We both got player in this, but he's the player, so I can go with that.
Yes.
Okay, but then as 5 minutes within the shooting, Kelsey is sending a text message to Megan's manager that Tory just shot Megan with less than 5 minutes.
That's bad.
That was a part of the evidence. I heard you out. When the LAPD pulled the car over, the gun is under Tory's seat. Right. He's sitting in the front passenger seat. The gun is under his seat. Warm to the touch, as they said. You also have a text message from Tory to Megan that was all bad. Circumstantial. He also has gunshot residue on his hand. The man on the balcony also says the little guy started shooting and waving the gun all around and busting.
What else did he say about?
He said he saw a muzzle flash from where the girls were at.
He didn't see them tussling?
Kelsey and the girls?
He sees the two girls fighting, yeah. But the main part was, who did you see shoot, Mr. Old Man on the balcony? I saw the little guy shoot. And that's all that mattered. All that other stuff he saw did not matter.
You have to define reasonable doubt before you make all this other evidence be so important.
But the key word is beyond. So
okay,
now when we put all the evidence on the table, we got like which way out more.
But you got to know what reasonable doubt is before you know if you went beyond it. So you have to establish what reasonable doubt is to realize whether it's gone beyond reasonable doubt or not.
I think all three of us know what that means.
And then also, Kelsey, one of Kelsey's reasons that this is all sealed, we don't know, but a lot of legal experts say the reason why Kelsey pled the fifth is because she accepted a bribe, which is illegal. She was bribed because she gave a statement in September, audio recorded, laid out everything step by step. Tory's the shooter. And then a couple months later, I don't remember, I don't know, I don't want to talk about it.
Check me out, innocent or not. If I end up on the scene of a shooting and I test positive for gunshot residue on my hand, I think it'd be in my best interest to plead the fifth, personally.
Okay, you just missed what I said.
If she accepted a bribe,
this has nothing to do with what you said. It's me personally.
No. If she accepted, if she accepted a bribe, why is her testimony even admissible?
Well, there was no proof that she accepted the bribe, because whatever conversations, the judge took Kelsey in the back room to find out, why do you want to plead the fifth? The judge needs to know.
But the judge knew without her testimony that she tested positive for gunshot residue on her hand.
but we also
He's an expert in the legal courtroom. He's seen these cases without her being involved played out.
Yeah, but the judge also knows that the gunshot residue is not the end all be all. And we also we heard evidence that the gunshot
Neither is it for Tory.
the gunshot residue. You're right. The gunshot residue travels 15 feet.
But it doesn't specifically land on people's hand, which are usually utilized to shoot firearms. It might land on your shoulder, your chin. It might land on your forearm. It might land elsewhere, but to land right in the area where firing a gun is
the way the gun expert explained it. It's a huge cloud, and then that cloud settles. So
exactly, and so it will land.
It's going to settle all over the place.
It was found on her hand in accordance with if you had shot a pistol. That's
no, it wasn't found on her hand.
Are you sure?
The hands were only tested. They test the hand. They don't test the arm.
So it was,
they don't test.
No, so don't say it wasn't found on her hand.
No, you're saying it was only found on her hand.
Because that's the only way it was tested. It was the only place it was tested. Was on her hand.
It was the only place it was tested.
So it was only found on her hand. That was factual.
It's not factual because if you got gunshot residue on this finger, then it's on your hand, then it's on your arm, then it's on your shoulder.
Wait.
Because it's a mist of billions of particles in the air.
But wait a minute. If gunshot residue travels any amount of space, just because it meets you to your hand doesn't mean that velocity is going to take it to your arm. It could be only to the fingers in the hand.
Wrong.
No, that's wrong.
That's not true.
100% wrong.
That's not 100% wrong.
If I shoot a gun right here, and gunshot residue.
You're saying that he might not have shot it. She might not have shot it.
Let me make this point because I want the listeners to understand this about gunshot residue. If I shoot a gun right here, there's going to be a cloud of millions of particles that go up in the air, and it's going to land within a 15 feet circumference. Guess what? That camera's going to have gunshot residue. That tripod's going to have gunshot residue. That bookshelf is going to have gunshot residue.
So as a prosecution, what did they test for gunshot residue?
They only want to test one thing.
Exactly.
The hand.
That's my point.
That's all that matters.
Hey,
so my point was it was only found, regardless of what else was tested, it was only found on the hand. And the reason why they only test the hand, because that indicates suspicion as the shooter.
No.
It indicates that you're close. You're either
hold up, bro.
I'm gonna tell you what it indicates.
I allowed you to land.
No.
I allowed you to land.
You landed already, Spider.
No, I didn't. But you
it indicates. No, let me say what it indicates. It indicates that you're either the shooter or you're near the shooter. That's all it indicates.
And the fact that you may be the shooter introduces reasonable doubt and maybe on the spectrum beyond reasonable doubt that, hey, maybe Tory is not the shooter.
Okay, so then that means you believe Kelsey Harris is the shooter.
No, I believe that there's enough evidence beyond a reasonable doubt where we can't quite decide.
So he can at least get a hung jury.
That's not the you don't. That's not
the burden. That's the only
not
burden.
your job as a. In this case, your job as a juror is to either say Tory is the shooter or figure out he's not the shooter because somebody else in that car is.
Somebody else may be beyond reasonable doubt.
Somebody else has to be the shooter.
That's not true.
No.
Somebody else has to be the shooter.
That's not what beyond reasonable doubt.
That's why they brought the doctor in there to say Megan got shot in the foot.
But that's not what beyond reasonable doubt.
That should have been a hung jury, bro.
Alex.
That should have been a hung jury.
Alex, you're the expert, and you have to admit, beyond reasonable doubt does not mean you have to pick another culprit. It means you have to prove that there's enough suspicion that somebody else may be responsible other than the person you're trying to accuse.
Okay.
Hey, Alex.
I'm going to say what Spider's saying is correct, but Tory's lawyer used third-party culpability. You know what that means?
That's above bound.
Third-party culpability means my guy didn't do it, but somebody else in that car did.
That's why I told you at one point we debated this. I perhaps would have been better representation for Tory than his lawyer.
So that means if you're going to say Tory didn't do it, you have to say either Jaquan, Kelsey, or Megan shot herself.
Hey, Alex.
And which one of those makes more sense?
Maybe he was trying to disarm her.
That's what it sounds
and it
like
went
now.
off because who's shooting down. You know what I'm saying?
Now that disarm is a good theory, but I think it goes out the water. It goes out the window once you hear the audio of the actual shots.
Hey, but see, listen.
Because they go like this, bah, bah. Bah,
but they test more than your hands
bah.
Because I've been arrested and they took all my clothes and they gave me the suit, the zip up suit. So they was testing something.
No, that was a theory that his lawyer tried to say, that the gun went off during a struggle. So the jury said, let's listen to the audio. Bah, bah, bah. Pause. Bah, bah. They said, nah, that's one shooter.
You know why he got a raw deal?
Yeah, that's right.
Bullets.
They said that's one shooter.
And they went to the ground. So there is, I don't know what kind of lawyer he had that could not defend against fucking intention, bro. She got hit by a bullet that went to the ground at most that ricocheted.
Yeah.
How does he get intention for trying to shoot somebody, bro?
But they said he said some shit like,
Well,
dance.
he's lucky he didn't get attempted murder.
They
That's
said,
what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
why is he so lucky? Because if we look at the facts, it's obviously a gun was utilized, but I see no evidence of intention to harm someone.
Correct.
because
I agree.
He should have hired Megan Blanco.
He was just whoever's the shooter, deliberately shot at the ground,
If
and the
anything,
ricochets hit Megan's foot.
that's my point. So anything is negligence or recklessness.
That's why he was only charged with the assault with a deadly weapon
How you get a 10-piece?
because of the enhancement. He
the
only
enhancement's supposed to fall off.
What they do sometime in retro.
yeah, he might get but didn't he get 4 years for the shooting and 6 years on the
That's
enhancement?
why it's 10. So it really a 4.
What was his sentence? I forget what he got.
It was something similar though.
Or he got 6 years for the shooting and 4 years for the enhancement.
gun.
Yeah, for the gun.
He might be back quicker than we realize, y'all.
But because the enhancement is less than the base sentence, that's gonna stand. Right now they're reversing enhancements that are more than the base sentence.
Free TC.
TC's perfect example. He got 15 years for second-degree murder, 25 years for the gun.
That's 40.
So he got a 40 piece
like,
on
can
that.
y'all agree with being a real ninja? If you're a street person, you from the so-called projects, you got this influence. Why you don't think Jay-Z just didn't have her like, man, just kick back? Just, you know what I'm saying?
You mean why didn't Jay-Z influence Megan to not even press charges?
Right.
Megan said the reason why she decided to press charges because Tory started going to the internet lying about what happened.
I'm talking about Jay-Z though.
Jay-Z image in that sense has been compromised. You know, one of Jay-Z's counterparts is Des Perez.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't even want to bring Jay-Z's name up.
Hey, you got to let the listener know who is Des Perez.
Des Perez is one of Jay-Z's executive counterparts that he works with in Rockefeller through, I don't know exact capacity, but she has been responsible for being an informant and bringing down a section of a cartel similar to BMF or El Chapo, and she was working on the side of the government after being on the side of the hustlers, and she's compromised to that degree, and this is one of his...
It's surprising that he hired her, huh?
But
Indeed.
hold on, but what was he made known to this information before he went into
I
business
can
with her?
imagine we know
There's
nothing
no way
about
that
Des Perez before Jay-Z knows it.
Yeah, because I mean, at this point, what she doing is a regular job.
It don't matter, bro.
And then you in real time is dealing with this girl on some.
But
Rock
you the
Nation
OG,
shit.
it's original D-boy from our culture and generation showing us you can go from this until this, and you don't have to deal with the police. You don't have to compromise. He is the example, bro. You can't give him no room, bro.
I was a little surprised when I learned
You're supposed to be.
I wouldn't have let. I would have tried to influence Megan, let that robbery go, keep it going, and you know what I'm saying, keep it pushing, and just be great.
So you tend to think that Tory just bit off more than he can chew politically with the whole Megan Rockefeller Jay-Z shit.
What you mean by that? What you mean bit off more? What you mean?
Because you just said what you would have did instead of what he did, and then before that you mentioned Jay-Z, and then it seemed like that's the power he ran up against.
I said if I was Jay-Z, I would have, with the influence I know he have, I would have terminated. Or I guess, you know what I'm saying, we gonna let this blow over.
I wonder if Megan would listen to advice like that.
This
believe
what
she will.
happened. Listen to me, y'all. Megan told Jay-Z what really happened. Kelsey, my homegirl, and this is what Tory's father is alleging. Jay-Z flipped all that to make Tory be the bad guy, and Jay-Z saved the females.
Yeah. All right. So this statement that I read by Jaquan is supposed.
That's why he got 99 problems in the bitch. Ain't one.
And this statement is supposed to help Tory on his appeal. But guess what? It ain't gonna help.
It's a legal expert right here, y'all. He know what he talking about.
The reason why is the only way that this type of information will help if it's new evidence. And unfortunately, when Jaquan came to court in December, he had already told the prosecutors and the defense attorneys the exact same thing that's in this statement. So guess what?
So
This ain't new evidence.
So there's no loophole to say ineffective counsel that my attorneys didn't pay the right attention to this.
That's a avenue that Tory could take because right now the appeal hasn't even been completed, but this is not going to be useful in his appeal because it's we already knew this, and we wanted to hear Jaquan. We wanted to hear him come to court and say this on the stand, and for whatever reason, he decided not to do it.
I think people should take into consideration Megan nor Kelsey had nothing bad to say about Quan. So that should like further validate his statement. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed. And anybody in this situation, Tory's team, needing consultation, tap in with Alex Alonso, Street TV. He has a lot of knowledge on these incidents. And it could be a service for consultation, man.
But I do know that he has like 5 or 6 different points that he could appeal. I don't know how effective they were. I think I did a video a year ago saying that they made a big deal about his tattoo he had on his chest, the prosecution. He's got the same little Uzi that Tupac got. What gun is that Tupac got tattooed?
The AK, I think.
The AK.
Bro, you've told me stories about being in court and tattoos being questioned and the whole court wanting to see him, and it's not. So I know how.
I'm thinking, what the hell does this tattoo,
Thank you.
this AK tattoo on his chest got to do with this case? But of course, they want the jury to see we charge him with a shooting. He's got a gun tattoo, jury. Yeah. That was a little.
That's the.
Hey, listen,
I don't think they even needed to do that, to get the conviction.
And from a demonic standpoint, a DA is a artist, a painter. Is gonna paint a picture. So they go say to these squares that's in the jury, oh, he got the AK-47 tatted right here, and it's violent, and they, how they do, they paint a picture.
Yeah.
Instead of that Tupac, he influenced me, and he got the same tattoo.
Yeah, I definitely think.
I go ahead, Spider.
The whole Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion situation was blown out of proportion. I think it had nothing to do with thuggery. I think it had nothing to do with gangsterism. I think there was not a criminal involved. I think it was a little liquor, celebrities, dick, pussy, misunderstanding, and something happened with a firearm, which is a legal possession for citizens, some recklessness. I think it had nothing to do with criminality at all, bro. I think he got a real bad rap, bro.
Right.
Well, in the state of California, whenever you pull that trigger and you pointing it in someone's direction, that's a felony.
So just think about how tall is Megan? About 5'8", 5'11"?
She might be like 5'10". Yeah.
So you aimed it at this percentage of her. I don't believe it was aimed at her. That's what I'm saying. Just think you touched the most smallest fraction of a 6 foot damn near frame. How was that aimed at her?
Well, it had to be aimed down by her feet.
No, not necessarily. It could be inadvertently struck her foot, because I could aim at Munchie's feet and hit you.
I believe
on accident.
I believe it was a struggle.
It's the most. That's the most logical.
Yeah, but
explanation.
the audio of the gunshots kind of rules the struggle out.
Yeah, I haven't heard the audio.
It would have to be pauses and breaks. That shit is just too consecutive.
But anybody that busts a gun, especially for the first time, and you first realize how easy it is to make that sound, it's very easy to get the next couple off, even if it's in a tussle. So if you're the one that initiated the trigger, bah, you realize like, oh, bah, bah, bah. The next couple bahs real easy. They easier than the first one, bro. So adrenaline, nervousness, all that can cause the second, third, fourth shot to be rapid, bro.
Look, there were 5 shots, and there was a slight pause between the second and the third. It was ba, 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 pause, ba, ba. I believe that's how it went. And it just sounded like, no, that's one person.
Mm-hmm.
My bad, Tory, for not taking my real call and being a defense attorney, bro, because I could have did your job.
Hey, but
Cochran for
that,
it, homie.
that was supposed to be a hung jury, period.
Oh, my mama, at the least, at the best.
If there was no enhancement, let's say he would have got that 6 years, he'd be getting out.
On his way home, huh?
Yeah, he'd be on his way home right now.
But does he even rap? I don't know his music. Does he even
sing.
rap gangster enough to think he could supposed to take that? Because I thought he was just like a regular man. Does he have any gangsterism to his persona?
He got a little man complex,
He
bro.
does come off as a little tough guy.
Yeah. He a little tough singing motherfucker.
Yeah.
Sometimes, Tory, when you take that tough persona, certain consequences come with it. And if you present yourself as a G, sometimes you can't cry about the outcome, homie, regardless if it's right or wrong, bro.
And that's why I give him his respect for being housed where he housed at, because a lot of rappers ain't.
He on the main Leezy out here?
Yes, sir. I respect him. You know what I'm saying?
And he a little bitty nigga, so salute.
Yeah, I think he might have a little action in his appeal. The tattoo is one for sure.
That's stupid.
There was a few others that I can't think. I'll put a link in the description of this episode to a video I did that outlines all the possible appeals that he has. Because I took notes whenever there was a little something.
Sure you did.
Whenever there was a little something in the trial, I was like, oh, that's a little shady. Oh, that's a little shady. But here's another thing. All the shady things that the prosecution did would have changed the outcome of the verdict. That's another thing you got to measure. Like,
you only need one juror. How can you state that?
like the tattoo that I just mentioned, right?
Okay.
That was foul to
Right.
present that in front of a jury.
Right.
But was the jury really moved by that is the question.
But see, that's when a lawyer is supposed to say, everybody influenced by somebody. You know how many people got prolific tatted after Nipsey passed?
Why he want to put Nipsey in it?
No, I'm saying the influence that people got.
But you know the word prolific is all about being influential.
Yeah. So he got that tatted, and so many more people got it after him. Then Tupac got this AK-47 on it, and he got, like, you know what I'm saying?
And that would have been more pertinent to point out where that first originated. He's an artist, all black artist, look up to Tupac. He just going to, that would have made sense.
I was just giving more than one example.
No, I feel that. I asked why. Now you making it clear why.
His attorney argued that that's a Tupac, that's a homage to Tupac.
Oh, that makes sense.
But
But it didn't work.
And it's the exact same Tupac, what is it, AK tattoo.
I just never heard of somebody getting grazed, skint by a maybe or maybe not intentional bullet and getting a decade out of their life. And they're not even a gangbanger.
Man, I'm going to tell you something even worse than that. I had a case where the victim was a John Doe. We don't even know who the victim is.
Nobody ever claimed him?
Nobody, but they do know this guy did a shooting. He shot at someone, probably missed because whoever that person is in the wind. He got charged for shooting at a John Doe and convicted. He got struck out because of his previous.
Bro, get in touch with somebody, bro. You got action.
I misunderstood that when you was first saying it. I'm thinking, oh, that's crazy. How you ain't got a victim?
That's
I've only heard of that.
it's rare, but it
A
happens.
murder situation where a body disappears and they have so much evidence to convince the jury that this person is responsible for this disappearance. I heard of that, but not if it's not a murder, the person was still alive.
It's a John Doe victim.
So he could have or could not have been. Probably got caught shooting at somebody on camera. The person ran off.
Maybe the guy got shot in the leg. He ran off.
Yeah, that type of
or
shit.
maybe he missed him completely. But whatever they had the camera evidence to prove that there was a shooting, no victim.
It's predictable for that to be true in California because we don't even have the right to possess weapons. So you already criminal as soon as they see you with a gun. Other states, it'll be hard to prove that because you can have a gun and you can defend yourself.
Hey, I was actually very disturbed at watching the video of you getting pulled over and them just going through your car. Just going through your car, and I didn't see anything illegal that you did.
You know, the car was registered to
There was no probable cause.
the car was registered to my son, who is a member of the California Department of Corrections, and they saw that before they saw me. So when they actually put up alongside me, the first thing they did was to compliment me on the car because my son, although he is a black child, I'm from his father that was on the east side, from the east side, East Coast. I'm his stepfather's actual born father from the west side, from V&G's. He's raised totally black. However, his car is designed like a white boy who's into auto sports, who don't know nothing about the ghetto.
Hey, but see, I understood when they ran a place and then they came back why, but I don't agree.
No, but look, let me
once you
make my
gave them
point.
your explanation,
They
they should've
behind me
kicked back.
under them limo tents. They see the place. They in Burbank. They first thing, when I cracked my window, the first thing they said was, "Nice car." And they were surprised to see me. They thought they were going to see somebody that looked just like them. That's the style of car he has. It's not a black type. It's souped up, but on the white level. So when they seen me, and I ain't going to lie to y'all, I had a re-note in my me mouth that wasn't lean-it. So I'm going to tell y'all, I was so on one. They was in an unmarked SUV. And I had a lot of shit going on that day. When I just seen the car refusing to pass me, I kind of started like trying to see like what's happening. I cracked my window and armed myself with that same thing that they found, thinking that this might be some bullshit. So I'm leaning in my seat trying to see what's happening. When I seen it was one time, I like, oh, drop it, and they're like, nice car. And then they looked at me, then it turned into all the bullshit. And I didn't want to get caught up.
You should have tucked it in the console.
You're right.
And they would have never saw it.
You're so right.
They was using flashlights, and they's like, wait, is that a strap on the floor? What do they call that
As soon as
part?
he got back.
What is that thing called? Where the floor? There's a word for that.
That's not the console. That's the...
Yeah, the little floor panel or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right, because I didn't know where it was at. And when they came, as soon as he walked to the car, as soon as he saw it immediately. He might not have not even done an extensive enough search to find it if I could have tucked it anywhere. The thing was, as soon as he came, it was right there on the floorboard.
And then you can see at that point, they just start searching everything.
Yeah. That's all it was.
Did they go through the trunk too? They went through your trunk?
Yeah, but once they was really nutting over that car. Shout out to my son, Stevie, bro. I had no idea how rare. I knew you loved that car. I knew that was your dream car. I watched you save for it, plan for it. But it's an 08 Pontiac. I had no idea the value of them cars until... them white people reacted. He loves that car.
You got his car back, right?
Oh, definitely. The same night. I got it out the pond the next day. I mean, Empire.
I thought you more so got pulled over because they ran a place and they knew his job. He was in law enforcement.
But no, they thought that they in Burbank thinking, oh, that's one of our pals. And when I rolled the window, they were saying, hey, nice car. And when they saw me, they got confused.
Also, that blunt and smoking and drinking in the car, that probably had you anxious. Or...
I've gotten one DUI in my whole life. I got it like in 2021, which y'all saw me go through, going to jail for that burner and all that. I was grateful. That was a better situation than them giving me a breathalyzer and giving me another DUI.
I know, they just charge you with the gun, huh?
That was, look, could you ever imagine a gun and a pound of weed was a better charge than a DUI? I would have been really miserable if I had got another DUI.
And explain that, because the DUI is costly.
Well, right? I spent like 10 bands and 2 years worth of classes and other having to get extra insurance. Oh, you do not want a DUI.
Yeah, and people go to prison for DUIs.
You get 3, you going to prison.
Yeah. But I don't know how we got on that from the Tory situation.
Free Tory Lanez. That's all I want to say.
Okay, Tory's release date is May 2029, but he's definitely going to get some time off of that sentence. I don't know how much time. Can you guys kind of go through what are the possible things you can do to get some of that time? Those what did you call them, Munchie? The
milestones.
The milestones. What can he do? Classes? Because he's also going to go to college now. He's going to start taking college classes.
Really kick in for lifers. He got halftime. All you can basically do is.
Now he got 66%.
Oh yeah.
You know, 85 went down to 66.
His is 66.
And halftime went down to 33.
Oh, so basically what he can do is avoid trouble. There may be a small mite of room for him to knock off time, but not much. He's going to have to avoid trouble, and that's the way he'll get a 66% date.
Well, the 2029 is 66%.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's the date.
Yeah.
It's his date.
But I'm thinking he could probably get some months shaved off of that, maybe a year and a half shaved off of that.
You might have to ask somebody. He's been in prison more recent to me. I don't know about that.
Appeal go through other than that, because you just reminded me if the base time ain't more than the enhancement, then the enhancement still stay.
Yeah, the enhancement is, I believe he got 6 plus 4.
Yeah. So
yes,
if I wish it was the other way around.
So 29 might be like his earliest time, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to accept that.
I got a cousin, 48 years old, went to prison for the first time last year, and he got 6 years. He took a deal for 6 years. His release date is 2027. So that's what halftime or 66.
Oh, he got halftime or 66?
I'm not sure, either or.
Yeah.
But that's his release date.
But y'all notice ever since the case, Megan, her career's been on a decline.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so. And then what's my boy Tory? When he come on, he gonna come on bigger and better than ever.
But was Megan's career really on the incline, or she always just been like right there?
She was still fairly new when this case happened, because I think she popped like 2019, didn't it?
Because she's not on Cardi level, right?
The pandemic hit, so then you really
I don't think she ever reached Cardi's peak, but I think Cardi has been going down and Meg's been going up, so they might be on similar levels now. But I think Cardi did reach a higher pinnacle than Meg at one point.
Yeah, and then they did that hit together. I didn't like that song. I thought it was dumb. Yeah, I thought that was the dumbest.
It's showing
dumbest song I've ever.
We all got black daughters, bro. Okay, we understand it's times to get freaky and do the darkness, but we can't admit we listen to none of that music at a family function in front of our daughters, bro. I think it should be a separation with creativity.
I like what the women like.
He a fool. He don't give a fuck.
Hey, no, if they get to like bouncing their ass to that shit, I like it. Of course, I don't want my daughter rapping it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I object to all of that shit.
Thank you, sir.
I'm one of them don't do as I do as I say type.
I feel like all that freaky stuff should be behind closed door.
Remember, you used to go to the Blockbuster, the nasty store. Then you go to that back corner, and the bush shit was in the back corner. Where you get that T-shirt from, though, bro?
Oh, I got this at Soul on Ice on Washington and Arlington.
It's deep because the designer of that shirt was a parent of my my son's football team at Carson High a few years ago. 2 parents designed that, and they gave me some of those, and I promoted it on their behalf. And I've never seen it designed since, but it's been some years.
I got put onto this by Kato from 30s.
Oh, shout out to that used to fuck with Yuck Mouth?
Yeah.
Shout out to the homie.
Kato used to have like every color and the matching hat.
I had a few of those that we were co-parents on the same high school football team.
Oh, you just now noticed the shirt?
Yeah, because I didn't catch it at first.
I got like 3 or 4 of these.
That's dope.
But Yeah, Spider, you just made me lose my train of thought.
We dressed like twins. That was an
We
accident, y'all.
we was talking about
the
Megan
whole
on
the
the
Megan
decline,
thing, yeah.
and then I don't know. I don't think she ever reached Cardi level. Cardi got so many number ones.
Well, if they were doing songs together, that WAP was that was the biggest song at that time, right?
It's gonna be music for everybody. The righteous gonna love it. And you said they gonna have to.
Yeah, we know you a blood attorney, so you're gonna promote that blood no matter what. She bigger than the Cardi a blood. I get it, Cardi C.
No, I don't. I'm telling you, when Megan came out, and then when she came out, the pandemic hit. You can't really flourish during the pandemic, and then the case happened. Like she just been on it. You know what I'm saying?
So you feel like Cardi your homegirl?
I don't know her.
So what? You feel like you don't know every damn move they still your homie. Regardless, you feel like she your homie though.
I mean, she gonna treat me like a homie. She from Birmingham, New York. She might be like, I ain't never even heard of Inglewood family. if she give me some homie love, like, what's up, bro?
Munchie B, the mayor.
All right, so Tory's release date is May 2029. I think he might get out in 2028 or 2027.
I hope that he gets out earlier than 2029.
I definitely know, and I'm not talking about the appeal. You know, let's just assume he loses his appeal. I think he'll get out in 2027 because he'll get some time knocked off.
I ain't doing the time, but that ain't that far away, y'all. So don't do real.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to sound like a jailbird.
Exactly, me either, but I gave my homeboy 12. That was a sweet deal. For those that know how that can really be a settlement. 12 years to a civilian or a square sounds like the end of the world, but there is a reality where 12 years can be a sweet,
Civilian
sweet
square
deal.
woman. You can't forget woman.
A woman too, mother, parent.
Right.
That's what all that falls in civilian, bro.
She got kids? I don't think so. She was over here cheating on party and shit.
Who? Megan?
Yeah, you know
Oh,
the
you don't
dude that
think
her
she
little
got
boyfriend that was writing her music.
Yeah, she don't have any kids. All right, let's move on.
Get some though.
Let's move on
If she
to
wanna.
this interview that dropped recently. Our homeboy Timmy Ru,
Black Jesus.
the baby brother of the family, the one that was considered the rider of all three of them, the one that is highly spoke about
Rest in peace, country though.
by everyone who knows all three brothers, a guy who has no blemishes on his name, and just considered a respectable Pyru by everybody over there on the east side of Compton, right? So he does an interview on Art of the Dialogue, and he literally drops the details of what we've already heard about, but we didn't really have the specifics. But he dropped the interview basically saying that Mob James, his brother, testified against him on behalf of the prosecution, and he was facing some serious times for a domestic violence situation.
I'm only entertaining this because I'm here with Adamu, so I feel comfortable.
Wait. Before you continue, is this supposed to be Pyru business only? Because
I wanna
it's
say
on
this.
public platforms
No,
now.
I went public with my opinion at one point.
Yeah.
But I realized the way politics break down, you could be the only one pointing it out, and then the Damus may want to take a whole nother course of action on how they want to deal with it. So to that extent, as far as publicly making a presence about it and being the one pushing it, yeah, I feel like it's red rag issues. But however, I got on the front end of it. And because of our, we've been linked up for a couple years, I'm against the grain. I don't give a fuck, right or wrong. I implicated myself, and I got disrespectful toward Mob James and clowned him. But before you knew it, there's a coalition, not the Damu and Keyway movement online, but it's some Damu and Keyways, some Pyrus from Compton that do a lot of politicking on the phone, a lot of mornings. And I found myself on the phone politicking with these people, and I ran across Mob James, and I realized my public position had nothing to do with I got nothing to do with this shit. And I told Mob James, regardless of how I feel about the facts, I feel like I was wrong publicly getting involved in that shit. And we made that shit cool. But to blow my motherfucking mind, however, the very next day I'm on this same conference call with a lot of respectable G's, and Timmy Ru was on the same exact call. It was like being on a call with Mob James and an audience of Crips and Bloods. I got to understand it with Mob James. Say less. I won't speak on you no more because I've never actually seen paperwork. It's none of my business. I just got love for you. I got love for FG. So I kind of tend to believe what y'all said, but that's not enough. So I'm going to just leave it alone. But then the very next day, bro, his brother, Timmy Ru, was on the same conference call. And it blew my mind because Timmy Ru gave the perspective like he just said right there.
Okay, but on this conference call, Mob James wasn't on.
No, he wasn't.
Okay, and this
everybody
is a call,
else.
I believe this is a call I was on too. I wasn't on the Mob James one.
You was on the Timmy
But I
Ru
was
one.
definitely in the conversation with Timmy Ru.
And you wasn't aware the day before that when I told you the reason why, hey, Alex, I wanted to get it out the way. I talked to Mob James. I made it cool with you because I knew what we'd established. This is the reason. Before you heard that conference call with Timmy Ru, the day before, all those same voices on the phone with Mob James.
That's why.
Hey, bro, he that's not power business, bro. He said his name is James McDonald. Don't call him Mob no more. And he told.
But you know what I encountered, y'all? I encountered myself being at the Melody Bar out by the airport
I
late
love
night.
the Melody Bar. Over in the marina?
Yes,
yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And a young nigga with he doing security, but he dressed in street clothes with a P hat on and a pistol hanging out his back pocket. All he wanted to keep telling me is, I'm Mob James' nephew. Now, I don't know if that means you Timmy Ru's son or country son or if they got a sister, but he kept just wanting to tell me, yeah, I'm Mob James' nephew. I said, yeah, I know Timmy Ru, I know Wooty Whoop, yeah, much love. You're like, yeah, I'm Mob James' nephew. So I'm just think about it. Just think if Mob James was 100% boo-boo. I go on the internet clowning him, and he got a nephew that's a young 20-something, 30-year-old gangster, don't give a fuck about none of that, and I never see him coming. That's the type of way I carry myself these days. I don't even know Mob James enough to care about whatever he did. I got love for FG. I got love for Alex. That's as deep as it go with me. I don't know no more.
Yeah, but man, unfortunately, once you hit these airways and you in front of these cameras, I mean, so you belong to the internet at that time. So if Spider or Munchie catch a case and they go bring it to the internet, they go dig and do all
They are. But me personally, I apply myself to things that naturally kind of like make sense to me. I don't deal with most of the Damu politics that pop up online. Just like shout out to Bone. I know that's one of Alex's best friends. Somebody was running shit across my table trying to smut Bone. I kind of looked over it. I saw an angle to approach it. I leave it alone. It's none of my business.
If it's too grounded, I'm gonna leave it alone. If Greedo would have never went to No Jumper, I wouldn't have had an opinion on it. You don't go to nowhere with no 5 million subscribers trying to plead your case. You know what I'm saying? And then the same thing with Big Sad. He took it to No Jumper. Now you making everybody business. You know what I'm saying? Why else would you get on the camera in front of 5 million subscribers and try to plead yourself? You want us to give us our opinion.
Yeah, it's
like, you know
open. You opening it up for opinion.
It ain't you not a Crip no more than me. You the nigga on No Jumper, whether you told or not. You know what I'm saying?
All right, well, I want to play a few of these few clips. Now, Art of the Dialogue, he just dropped part one. Part one is about 16 minutes. We ain't gonna listen to the whole 16 minutes, but I got about four short clips, and let's start with clip number one.
Dead on you. If you don't mind me asking, can you give me a detailed account of everything that took place from your point of view?
Okay, briefly, I had an episode with my son. My son must have talked to my brother about it. My brother called the police. He always said he didn't do it, but through the court, everything that comes out. And to set it straight, for my brother said in one of his interviews that he came to court for my mother. That's not true. He came to court for the district attorney, not for my attorney. So with that being said is, yeah, my brother had me sitting in jail, and my message to my brother is, I ain't mad at you, I still love you, and I got a nice hug for you, man. Just when my mother told me to give you that. She came to me in my dreams and told me, give my brother a hug, and that's what I'm gonna do. I love you, James, but you wasn't right.
Okay, that's the first clip.
You get deeper if you get to the clip.
Yeah, I was actually at their mom's funeral.
Oh, you were?
I believe that was in 2018.
Bless her heart, bless her soul.
Yeah, and what y'all think about that? I like the fact that he's willing to water under the bridge, but you got to apologize and you got to keep it real, James. That's what Timmy's saying, right?
That's brotherhood.
But this the third example we got to talk about what my mama made me do and going to court. You know what I'm saying? So like whatever.
Oh, that's a trip, huh? You right.
But I'm just I'm just not with that. It should really be colorblind when it comes to these hookah politics.
I'm gonna say it's a second example because there's only two adults.
to adults.
What you mean?
Oh no! Once you become a gang member, you emancipated.
That's what I'm saying. I think the third person was prior to his saying he was a gang member.
No. He was from where he was from, and he was getting busted on by his ops. That's why he. You know what I'm saying?
I'm out of that one.
Yeah. Crip attorney.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. See, I see you finally doing something that seemed like kind of like not being biased. So I'm gonna give you a pass. Don't do that.
No,
that's the homie.
I go for anybody, bro. Snitches take kids, separate from fathers and away from their kids, bro. Gotta let the police do their job.
Hey, but Timmy referenced an interview that James previously gave, where I remember this interview where James was saying, "Oh, I was there helping. I was helping my brother. I got my brother off."
Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, and then there's
Free
another.
TC.
I was helping my brother. If it wasn't for me, Timmy would be in prison right now.
Bro, that don't sound familiar?
Hold on.
Free TC from Avalon. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, we was on the wrong page when I said we talking about he was a kid though, bar. We go back to that.
Yeah, you feel me? You catch up to me now?
No, because I had the three I'm talking about. We might not be talking about the same.
You know who I'm talking about now, bro.
I'm talking about Tip Harris, and I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Say less. That's three. That's three. My bad.
Badass, and I was talking about.
Yeah, your three valid.
Yeah, I wasn't
three
talking
valid.
about.
Okay, yeah, we ain't got to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that there's a pattern that these guys say all the time when they get caught up in doing what they did.
Yep. Tip said, I feel mama, I had to. The other boy, I had to worm mama. And then this boy saying,
Yeah, this one. I wasn't talking about. Yeah,
I got you. My bad.
Mix up.
All right, let's get clip number 2 of Timmy Ru.
I had an altercation with my son. I guess my brother felt like, I shouldn't have whooped my son ass or whatever. Call the police on me. Next thing you know, I'm facing, the deal was for 16 years, and at the beginning I was wondering, like, where is this coming from? So when you have a paid attorney, your paid attorney is going to tell you, it's all in the paperwork too, where a judge kicked James out the court and told him who he was. You know what I mean? That was some cold shit, man, but that was the day that hurt me, man.
The detail to that story is way more detailed.
Hey, that laugh, it's the laugh for me.
But if you know what the judge really said to James to get him out the court, it'll blow your mind.
Okay, so I think this is an important part of the story because Mob James, or James McDonald, he felt that he needed to intervene because he felt his nephew was getting beat too severely or getting excessively beat as Timmy was disciplining his son.
That's when you jump in swinging.
Right. Right. Great minds think alike. You should have got on your little brother.
Little brother.
Physically. You know what I'm saying?
Just stop it. Or it could, here's what I think could have happened. It could have already happened and James wasn't there. And then he saw the results of it and decided to report it. I believe that might have been.
It's a young, active nigga with some strength telling me, nigga, I'm Mob James' nephew. So that might be Timmy's son. Is that your son, Timmy? Oh, my mama, because Timmy told me the reason why, after he went on no jumper with the boy, he didn't realize it was all boo-boo until one of his sons brought it to his attention. So I really wonder which one of Mob James' nephews that was out there at Melody. Oh, my, was you Timmy's son or was you Country's son?
Now, if you paid attention to James' history, he talks about being excessively beat by his dad multiple times. So you know that this had to play a role in him witnessing his nephew being beat. Now, we don't know how severe this was, but I'm going to sit here and say, look, he who spares the rod does not love his child.
Spoils it.
Right? And
That's biblical.
Yes, very biblical. And I've come very close.
And what do that mean, bro?
That means you got to discipline. You have to discipline your son using corporal punishment.
Or else you're not going to be able to handle him in the long run.
Now, there's a school of thought that says corporal punishment is bad.
And I am of that.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
I tend to think that the only time we beat human beings into submission is in slavery, and we do it to animals as well. I don't know any other format of life where humans are beaten into understanding. To me, that's animalistic.
Well, you're using the word beaten now.
Well, physically harmed with pain,
Excessive
injury to cause you to react correctly. Every other format, even in the military, where people become extremely disciplined, it's a verbal command. It's not through physical threat. And we get the most discipline. So go ahead, please.
I'm gonna disagree with you.
Go ahead, please do.
When you're raising a child from babyhood, like when they're crawling,
Yes.
if they're not to touch this pen,
Yeah, we get
and they
that.
want to touch the pen, the way you teach them to not touch the pen and put it in their mouth is some sort of physical, we call it
That's
spanking.
before they are intellectually enough to understand, hey, this is right and this is wrong. All they know is I do this, and only way you can understand a consequence is if you apply one.
Yeah.
That's wrong. But once they can talk back to you and you can talk to them and you can start to reason with them, you stop beating human beings into compliance.
I agree.
Compliance.
I agree. But what is that age of cutoff?
You think about when you can start corresponding with
Yeah.
your children, 3 years
definitely.
old. You start being able to talk to them around 4. People get beat into their teenage years.
Hey,
There is a cutoff. There is a cutoff time to where corporal punishment no longer is
We don't
effective.
we don't typically beat babies. We kind of pop them and spank them because we can't talk to them that well, and we can show them no.
But even a 4 or 5 or 6-year-old, you got to tap them. You got to hit them.
There's no hard line. So but there is a level. You don't beat on 11-year-olds.
Okay,
12-year-olds you don't hit.
so how old was Timmy Ru's son? I wonder.
We don't know.
We don't know. Oh,
We don't know.
Speculation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's one question that I was hoping that Art of, I don't know, is his name Art? Because in the interview, Timmy Ru was calling him Michael.
I've been on other people. I thought his name was Art because people started calling him Art. I'm not sure either. I thought that was the name of the platform at first.
That was a question I was like hoping that's the next question. I hope he asked the next. I want to know the age of this nephew, this son.
Hey, before we go to the next clip, right?
Yeah.
Okay, some of these sons is bigger than their dads, and you know what I'm saying?
Nephews too. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You know Marvin Gaye whipped his dad ass and he killed him after that. So ain't nobody just go volunteer to get their ass whipped by their son.
Do we even know if Marvin won or did he just challenge?
No. He whooped him.
Oh.
He whooped him. But see, that's why I would know. I would like to know how old this son is, and is he?
Well, we could always just call Timmy and find out. Okay. But back to the corporal punishment thing. When you have, let's say, a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old that's being disrespectful, I think sometimes you just got to put the smack down.
So what?
No.
Why do you feel like the smack is more effective than him standing way in the corner in the backyard with his hands out?
Because that's not a punishment that will correct the disrespect.
But it's more indicative of what the world has available for you. A cell, it's very small, where you're going to be isolated and not. That's basically what reality really has to offer. If you get out here and start showing your ass breaking these laws, the most common consequence we're trying to save our kids from outside of dying is being incarcerated.
I agree with Alex, bro.
There's no problem with you. I'm not surprised you agree with Alex.
No, because my mom, she got 3 kids, and she like, I treat y'all all differently but equally. She could deal with this brother, but she ain't got to do this with him. She could probably just give him a verbal lashing versus hands on. You know what I'm saying? Because jail, that's
So
not.
why would you agree with Alex? Because he just prescribed that it should be whoopings.
It depends. It's kid to kid basis.
That's what I said, though.
No, but you say you completely against it.
You did say you were against
Personally.
corporal punishment.
Yeah, you personally you. But I'm
I
saying
said up into an age.
And then I don't think jail is a good example because I never learned a lesson by going to jail.
You going back? Are you eager to go back?
I've been back.
Are you eager to go back?
No.
Is it based upon experience?
I like freedom.
Thank you. So and you don't versus what you experienced incarcerated.
It's just I like freedom.
Yeah, never agree to what the sense I'm making.
No.
You would choose what the freedom you experiencing now over the incarceration
I
that
like
you
to use the
experience.
bathroom when I want to. I like to eat when I want to. I like to have
all
sex
that is
with women.
wrapped up in. He
So
would prefer being free over incarcerated.
Here's the question.
Based on experience.
Are you
That never kept me out of jail though.
Are you more likely to take penitentiary chances as you've experienced life in the penitentiary? And most people, as they get older, will say, "Nah, I'm not willing to take that chance
That's the
anymore."
natural progression.
Yeah.
Even though our first taste doesn't necessarily turn us off, so we can still be just eager a couple of times early on.
The first taste for you and your circle don't turn you on, but there are squares that catch cases young,
course.
and they're like, "That's the last time I'm ever
I
going
might
to
be
jail."
I might be looking at one, but I was just saying, you know what I'm saying? Not as square, but turned it square after he realized. But there are some that don't quite get they don't get it that quick. You got to. Some people have to get exhausted with gelling, and finally get like, whoa, I'm 10, 15 years behind. This is a cycle, and then it kicks in. Some people don't get it in that first couple of 3 years. You catch 3 years, catch 4 years. You get so caught up in your cycle with game banging, that shit could blow. 10 years could blow by before you realize you threw away a decade.
But I do agree that at a certain age, you have to stop that form of discipline. My youngest son in 2020 was real disrespectful. COVID just hit.
How old is he now?
I'm trying to, let's see, he's 18 now, so he's been 14. He was so disrespectful. I was about to give him the worst beating that I've ever administered. But I said to myself, damn, I don't know. He's 14. Do I do this or do I don't? Normally, I talk to my dad. My dad, rest in peace, 2015. So I called my uncle, the next relative I have that's a father figure. And he's a Christian. He's a preacher. He's all with the the hidden spanking. But he told me, use discernment. You don't have to utilize it every time. And because he's 14 and he's bigger, he's not little, it might not be necessary. Have the conversation first. And then if the disrespect continues, then maybe go there. And I thought about it. I never gave my son that beating.
I'm glad.
But I do agree that corporal punishment, there is a place for corporal punishment.
I agree too.
And disciplining children
I think it's
up to a certain age.
I think it's far more rare than we utilize it though, but go ahead.
Yeah. But I didn't do it. I feel good that I didn't do it. I'm glad my uncle gave me some good advice. I wonder if my dad would have gave me the same
He's
advice.
one of the two sons that I know.
Yes.
Great idea. You did a great decision, Alex. I'm glad you got beyond that point without getting deep off in their ass. You got good boys, bro.
But did the disrespect ever arrive again?
Well, the disrespect did go down, but there are even times now, as an 18-year-old that he is, I'm like, yo, that's not cool.
But they're not disrespecting the man that you present to the world. That's their comfort level. You cuddle them. So it's a balance. You didn't cuddle these niggas you bump into that learn you as a man, that you establish respect and they never violated. These niggas see you at your soft side, your cuddle side, your tickle side. So as they become men, they challenge your manhood, not really realizing they're challenging your manhood. So what's a little different?
And I think you should let them know you can't challenge.
You have to, but
even if you do it once, so you don't have to do it again.
you have to.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't even chastise you.
I remember the last beating that I took from my dad. I was 13. I got arrested for stealing bikes, and he took a broomstick. And by that time, I was only in L.A. for 2 years. And I remember him hitting me with the broomstick while I was laying in my bed. It was like, it was unexpected. I was just laying there chilling. And he said, I did not bring you to L.A. for this. And that was the last time. But then there was a time I raised up on him when I was 16. And I was disrespectful. But then I got on my feet. And I said, what do you want to do? And my pops, he fell back.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he said, I don't want to even go there.
He should have wore you out.
Because that's,
No, I don't think it wouldn't have worked.
That's the non-American in your father. That was the non-American wisdom.
Now, here's the thing. My dad is only 5'5".
You thought you could have got him.
I'm 5'9".
No, his dad thought that.
No, I'm saying, yeah, you could have got him.
And plus, at that time, I was in the gym lifting weights. I had a muscular. So I was ready.
You bullied your daddy?
No, man, that's the exact reason why I said, how old was Timmy Ru's son?
Yeah, that's
bro?
why that's important to know. Hey, when I was 25 years old, my dad and I had a conversation about that day, and I told him, I apologized to him. And my dad said, man, I ain't even tripping on that.
Because he's a real father.
Yeah. But that's why I think your question is important, Munchie, because I'm curious to know how old was Timmy's son, because some of this interview makes it seem like he was like an 8-year-old kid.
I ask y'all this question. My son's 17. He'll be 18 in September. He's a college football player. He plays safety, wide receiver. This nigga's getting buffer and buffer. Should I start getting on my P's and Q's?
You should, because I believe he can. It's a good chance he'll whoop you.
This nigga is buff as fuck.
Yeah.
He's a baby in my mind. Man, he's a grown man now.
Once age catches up to you, you ain't gonna be able to handle it.
I love you, Junior. We ain't gonna have to worry
It's
about
called
that.
father time, and you smoke a whole lot of weed, so he on a workout.
All right,
sober.
Let's play. What clip are we on? We're on the third clip. All right, let's play clip number 3.
Because my son, he was touched a little girl. The little girl told on him. He got suspended. I talked to him about it. And the following week, when I took him back to school, he did it again. So I had to tell him, man, we don't do this. This will mess your whole record up. So I whooped him.
Real father.
And my brother called the police on him, you know. My son even said it in the courtroom, you know. That's him and her trying to turn me against my dad. So after that, I was stunned. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, what do I do? I just kicked back and prayed on it. And sure enough, I have 5 not guilty.
Okay, so
That's what I'm saying right now today, you know.
He said he pled
To
guilty.
James, if he ever watched this video, you know, man, I still love you. You know, you my brother. But I can't deal with you until you apologize. You know what I'm saying? You know, my mother came to me in a dream and told me to give my brother a hug.
Bless your mama heart.
So that's what I'm gonna do, you know, whenever I do see him.
all right, I think that's the end of that
He
clip.
said 5 not guilties.
What he meant to say, he was found not guilty on 5 charges.
But you know what? What we didn't get in that
Okay.
clip, that nigga said he pled guilty
So
and still got that
Yeah,
somehow. So
that was a little confusing. I
yeah,
don't
that was
understand it.
confusing. Yeah.
But we get a sense. I don't know if his son is 6th grade, junior high, 7th, 8th grade, or high school. Right? We don't have.
So your sense of protection for the victim based on their age and status would alter. If it was a 9-year-old minor, you would look at James a little different.
No, I would understand why James called the
Versus
police.
if he was 19 years old.
Yeah.
Nah, but you gotta break that type of habit, bro.
But yeah,
if he went right back to school and did it again, you gotta break that.
I
Bro.
think Timmy beat his son for a very legitimate reason.
Right.
That's sex. He could become a sexual predator if that's not checked.
I agree.
I didn't never hear this clip.
I remember I was flirting with a girl in church when I was 12 years old, and the elders brought me to the side and said, "Alex, we do not do that in the house of God." And the first thing I said was, "She's so cute."
Wow, you an asshole.
I'm 12 years old, and I'm learning now that you don't do this. You don't act this way. You know.
What do you mean by flirt? He said
I was
he said
raised so
text the
Yeah, he
girl.
touched her.
I was
Yeah,
raised in
flirting, that's
comfortable. I was raised in church so much that I was comfortable doing everything possible in church. All my first encounters, the majority of them happened in church, and if I get detailed, they was dirty down. So God forgive me, Lord, but I knew how to get
No, that's
real
why
dirty in church.
That's why them elders they watching
They
all
know
the
what's
young
happening.
kids. Yeah.
Man, they taught you on Boys in the Hood that's where the women at their church.
That was that across street, huh?
But that was on the
Knee
show.
alone, damn.
Yeah.
But I think
that's all.
I think Timmy Ru was did what he felt was necessary to do.
Yeah, you gotta break them type of habits, and he didn't be specific like where she was to go back to school and do it again.
But you
Exactly.
But you being main person that has publicized opposite of Mob James, I give you credit for even suggesting that maybe the child was a little younger than we expected, to where he felt like he needed to be protective or defensive. That's a very fair assessment.
Man, what if we find out that this kid is 7 years old?
Then that's a totally different shit, bro.
Yeah, but we'll find out. We'll find out, and we'll give you the correct age next week because I'm curious. I know Munchie's curious.
Yeah, shout out all the homies. I just talked to Trey Lane this week. Shout out Mob BC from the Mob. Shout out Mob James and Timmy Ru. Just the fact that shout out Big Suge. I seen him on FaceTime a month ago in prison because of my little homie Mason from Backstreet. This shit is crazy, but the Mob Pyru's been back in my energy recently. Shout out to all y'all.
Hey, I like the way Timmy is asking for an apology because I told FG and I told James. I told James, you need to apologize to FG. You need to stop lying about it so we can move on from it. But you keep lying and denying it. That's pissing FG and his family off.
He might not have got that for FG, but I guarantee you he gonna get at Timmy Ru behind the scenes and they gonna patch that up. I think he gonna accept that from his brother.
He's going to have to patch up both.
Well, that's you politicking. That's on y'all. That's
Nah,
on
you
the red
can't-
side of the room.
You can't put that on both boats though. You got
Yeah, you gotta give brotherhood a chance
You got
first,
a family
bro.
member, and then you gotta.
Yeah.
You told on, I think the way they look at it is you told on 2 Pyrus.
No, I
Nah, it ain't how
understand
they
that.
look at it. How Mob James look at it.
Yeah, you gotta let the brothers do what they gonna do.
He
first,
looking
bro.
at it like this is my little brother.
Yeah, that's gonna. I think that's gonna work out before the politics.
And here's an interesting quote that James gave before. I never got on the stand and testified against anybody.
Dang, what Timmy just said.
Yep.
Timmy says,
Alex, you about as biblical as me, and we always give this brother relationship more credit than average relationships. But if we go by the Bible, you say brothers, you go to Cain and Abel. This is nothing new, bro. Brothers have had a hard time getting along since day uno.
You talking about nigga able to kill Kane? We ain't say snitched on Kane.
But they said he was jealous. He only did it out of jealousy. That's like a very
Sibling rivalry type shit.
yeah, and it was all out of a
And did Jesus consider his disciples brother-like?
yeah.
Judas?
Even upstairs, Lucifer, Michael. Come on, you betrayed me to my peoples, and come on. It's always.
So you think they're gonna patch this up?
I think that was a big gesture for Timmy Ru to be able to be the bigger man to say that. And I've spoken to Mob James about other issues outside of his brother. And the way he was amicable enough to patch up what we went through, I think he's going to be really receptive to his brother. I could be wrong, though. Y'all might think different.
All right, well, those 3 clips were brought to you by Art of the Dialogue, so make sure you tap in on that interview. So far, we've only seen part 1, and we're all waiting to see what the part 2
Keep it cracking. You got us on the edge.
Yeah.
Hey, but like I hope he do apologize to FG too though. You know what I mean? Because based on I didn't holler at FG in the recent years. I know both of his sons.
I don't think FG going to be accepting no apologies, bro.
Yeah, it's a little different because Timmy Ru was found not guilty.
Exactly.
FG was found guilty.
And got like a 10-piece, huh?
Timmy Ru sat in there. If you listen to the rest of the interview, Timmy Ru sat in jail for 18 months. FG got a 10-year sentence and sat in there for 8.5 years.
That's why I wouldn't want to hear
And
nothing.
Timmy Ru is trying to mend this on behalf of a visit he said he had to his mother.
Right.
So it's a lot of shit playing.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we talked about this on a previous episode of Straight Politicking about forgiving people who do this. I know that you was kind of like against that. That doesn't fall under the umbrella of forgiveness.
No, I don't think FG should, or that's just what you said. You said if he apologized, you would interview him. That was something separate. FG not looking for apology, so let's get that straight. But like I said, that
I said that today?
No, Alex.
Oh, Alex, you pointing the wrong way. Alex said that.
Oh, yeah, same difference.
Alex, individuals.
No. I'm talking direction.
No, you my nigga. Go ahead. Talk your shit.
No, but I'm saying snitches separate men and women from their families, bro. And then he got 2 sons. He was absent for years.
You always said it like that. So no matter how you thought you want to give a nigga pass, when you talk about that separation from your family,
Nah, for real.
there's no pass.
No, the damage was incredible.
Yes, it's nothing.
But I mean, if we're both children of God and spiritual beings, forgiveness is always on the table.
And needing forgiveness ourselves.
Giving forgiveness and receiving forgiveness. Have you watched my Joker interview from A-Tray Gangsta?
I keep seeing the clip, but I saw that he's all bad.
His family was killed by the 6-0s.
What you just said, I don't know nothing about. But I was gonna say, because I think it's supposed to be an interview with, you know what I'm saying, 20 minutes coming up soon, probably sitting down with you know what I'm saying, a 60, you know what I'm saying, but.
Shout out to the hustlers and the moving gangsters, man. We trying to help get that conversation moving forward.
Just ask for me, ask 20 minutes, have he seen the Alex Alonso interview with Joker from A-Tray Gangsta, and at this point in his life, he got forgiveness in his heart, though. You know what I'm saying?
Look, this guy his mother was murdered. His 15-year-old little brother was murdered by the 60s back in 1985. But he shot and killed Mumbles in the streets. Then 4 days later, they retaliated at his house and killed his mom and his little brother. And he's talking about forgiveness. He did 37 years for killing Mumbles. He got out 2 years ago.
Is this gonna be out before Friday?
It's all the Joker interview is already
this
out.
Right here, this.
I don't know, man.
So I ain't gonna mention them dudes. Go ahead.
I just did.
Yeah.
You did? Oh, 20 minutes, Big Run 6
Yeah.
A-Tray Gangster. I appreciate y'all for allowing my platform to be the platform for y'all to extend this conversation, man.
But
my mama.
the topic of forgiveness, I feel, should always be on the table. That's something I don't know if I know that 2 years ago FG wasn't there, but who knows? Maybe this year, next year, you know, what are you gonna do now? You ain't gonna fight the guy. You ain't gonna kill the guy. You know, you don't want to lose your freedom.
So forgiveness, absent of reparations, there's nothing needed to be done other than say, I'm sorry?
No, I do believe that there should be some sort of financial supplemental gifting.
Now you're making some type of sense.
You just can't say I'm sorry to FG.
You come paid. Yeah.
There's some sort of compensation has to come along with that for someone like FG.
Now it makes some type of sense to me because I've seen people get stretched and give the person that told them a pass in hopes for an affidavit.
You know what would be a good gift that James can give FG? A Harley Davidson motorcycle.
Yeah, he into the bikes.
You say, I'm sorry, and this is for you. and it's water under the bridge.
What that sound like, Black Jesus? That's like that makes sense to you? I wonder what his brother think about that. He gonna get one before Black Jesus?
Hey, Black Jesus just wants an apology.
Right.
That's it.
Dude's
But Black Jesus only did a year,
dude's moms.
and he didn't have to suffer.
Bless moms.
He didn't suffer the same consequences as FG did, but But here's the thing: I remember we were talking to your boy Holden Court,
Big Court.
and Holden Court's response to that is, "Well, FG was selling drugs.
Man, Big Court is the most neutral known to the
He was selling drugs like if he deserved James to tell on him."
Yeah, shout out Big Court, man. If I can learn anything from him, I want to learn how to be as neutral as he in the most heated. He know how not to pick sides, pick both sides without compromising either side.
Yeah, but the side that he picked is not a side he would say if FG was in this room.
But I'm saying, what?
Even with all this,
That's not neutral.
he might not care about right or wrong as much. I don't think he's gonna be too much intimidated
See,
by
the
FG's
thing is, the topic
presence.
is cooperating with the government and informing on your friends, and he pivoted it to, well, he was selling drugs.
But you just targeted your friend, bro. Like it ain't like the police did their own work, bro. You just
And this new generation got us with this paperwork word that if you discuss anything without any accompanying paperwork, they're gonna disqualify anything you say you went through.
no, but this got documents. This got paper. This on the internet right now on Street TV. Go
Shout
check
out
it
FG though, that's the homie, man. Shout out Country, rest in peace. Shout out Black Jesus on my mama, Timmy Ru.
All right, man, we went a little long on this episode, but man, we covered a lot of bases. We had a great conversation, straight politicking with another episode in, and we got Spider back in the black box.
Yes, sir. Black Box 2.0 going up. Kicking Cack being Boo shall return. Me and Munchie, we just trying to get our schedule together. We gonna get back to that. A lot of little shit coming through. Cliche 93 TV on IG and social media. Go follow that up. That's a new partnership. Shout out to my nigga Rap from the Dale.
Okay, and all the links that I've referenced in this episode will be in the show notes below. You can tap in with Munchie on his Instagram, Spider at his Instagram. You can hit me up on mine. All those links will be in the description below. And thanks for tapping in. Straight politicking on you fools.